Alright, let's talk about the elements of a lead machine. Okay, so these are all the optional and hopefully all the components that you will include on your landing page. Obviously, the more you include of these, the higher your conversion rate should be. If you only include 2 or 3 of these, I wouldn't expect your conversion rate to be up towards that 70% mark. But if you try to implement all of these, your conversion rate should be nice and high. So, first element of a lead machine is, of course, does your landing page display the outcome? So there's 2 approaches to this. There is the outcome which the prospect wants to ultimately achieve, right? So their end game outcome, which in this case is, of course, to have, a healthy looking body, right? So that is the end game for this industry and for this prospect, right? They want to achieve that. Or the flip side of that is, of course, to show them the outcome of what they actually get if they provide you with their information. So in this case, they are giving away a PDF and it's shown here and here, right? So it is showing them the outcome of what happens on the next page, the action, right? It's showing them the outcome of what they get if they opt in below. Now, this can work great. This can work on 2 levels. As I said, it's either the outcome of what the prospect wants to achieve, healthy body, or it's the outcome of what happens after they click, what happens after they opt in. You get this thing here, okay? Next we have, does your landing page follow the previous action whereby the prospect was taken to your landing page? So, if your prospect is coming to your landing page through an email link, through an email campaign which you have emailed out, then what communication was in that email that brought them there? What did you talk about in that email, and is that talked about again on your landing page? Another example as well is if you're using advertising like eBay is, then when you click on that, it takes you to a page, right? And this page here displays the logo once again. So you can achieve this through a few different approaches. You either keep the branding and the logo that was on the first action on the landing page. You can either communicate the exact same headline and copywriting which was on the previous action on the landing page, or you can use the same images as well, as long as it looks linked and it has some congruency to the previous action. Otherwise the prospect will click through and they will get confused and they will feel like they've landed on the wrong page and quickly close off. I saw this once with a private client of mine actually, and it was a great example of this, about questioning if it followed the previous action. And my private client was advertising a program to females on confidence. He was advertising online and it had an advert of a female looking pretty happy and pretty confident, right? So it showed the end game outcome of the prospect. But the problem is that once the prospect clicked through the image, the advert of the female looking happy and confident, it then took them to a landing page where he, my client, was talking to them, right? So that's incongruent. There's a female on the front end, and then they click through and there is a male on the next action. So that there, it didn't follow the previous action. Next, you want to ensure that you have a hook-based headline. Now, I love to write hooks. I think they are one of the most important components in obviously copywriting, but pretty much anything online as well. So a hook-based headline is trying to communicate a desirable headline as quickly and as short as you can. So for this example, I have how to sell 350 products online in 30 days. Right, a very clear and concise headline that is all geared towards the outcome. Right, how to sell X in what format in what time frame. Now, if you were to craft this in a non-hook approach, it might simply read how to sell products online. Right, it's not as clear, it hasn't got as much emphasis, hasn't got as much clarity. Right, you need to craft a hook that tells them what, in when, and how. Okay, so how to sell 350 products online in 30 days. Now, to even take this one level deeper, you can also include our objection handling as well. Right, how to increase your Facebook reach and interaction by up to 25% without spending. That is the objection, because of course once you read this headline, a prospect could assume that, well, of course you can achieve that through advertising, right? But this headline countered that objection by saying without spending. If we were to click back here, and if I was to add a objection handling framework onto the end of this headline, it could read how to sell 350 products online in 30 days, even if you've never sold a product before. Right, so that will handle the objection and of course bring in more leads too, because people won't opt in if they have an objection to your offer. Alright, so next we need a contrasting button color. As you can see, everything is pretty much black and white here, besides the green button. Right, it's very, very bright, very easy to see when the rest of the page is black and white. Next, you need custom button text. I think everyone includes this now. There used to be a time period where everyone used to just include a submit button. That did not used to be enough, right? So you need a button that links to the action. So if you're promoting a webinar, then of course you want to have a button that says either claim your spot now, or register now, or sign me up. If you are promoting a download, you also want to have download now or receive instant access. The next element of a lead machine is to include social proof. So as you can see here, there's social proof about where this person has been featured in the media. Now, do not freak out if you haven't been featured in the media. You can also use a Facebook like button as well, right? So you can also embed a like button onto your fan page, and that will obviously generate social proof as well, just through the amount of interaction you are generating online for your likes. Next, we have, of course, having the call to action above the fold. This somewhat surprised me as to how many people do not implement this, right? So this is a prime example whereby the call to action is right underneath the headline. It couldn't be any higher, really. So keeping your call to action above the fold will increase your conversion rate, because it's easier for the prospect to click on. They have to scroll down under the fold. You are going to lose a lot of conversion rate. And just to clarify, that term, a fold, is whereby the screen is cut off for the prospect on your landing page. So if you have a longer landing page, then it will also get cut off and the prospect will have to scroll to uncover your full landing page. Next, we want to include visual cues, right? We want to include checkpoints, we want to include icons, we want to include images, we want to include script text, right? We want to ensure it just looks attractive and visual cues even to what they want to do next, or sorry, what we want them to do next. So if I was to upgrade this landing page here, I might have an arrow that is pointing into this call to action button as well, just to draw more attention to it and to create a visual cue of what I want them to actually do next, which is of course click that button. Next we have a celebrity shot, right? Now you don't have to be a celebrity, but by having a large image of yourself like here, it kind of creates that celebrity brand right on your landing page, and of course we'll kind of bring in that premium approach to your lead machine and increase your conversion rates. You also want to include 2 fields or less, and ideally you want to include the first name on top and the email underneath. I see a few clients who some reason get this confused and they put the email address on top and the first name underneath. Now this can be quite annoying for a prospect because most people are quite quote unquote trained to enter in their name and email first. Not the email and name first, name and email first. 2 fields, keep it easy, keep it how it always has been, right? Name and email first, not email or name or phone number and email. Name and email first. Get it first, and then you can try to capture other fields if you want to, and keep it 2 fields or less. Again, let's talk about this example here, whereby there's consistency with the branding, right? If you know her brand online, Marie Forleo, her brand is very, very pink, very green, and very black as well. So there's that consistent branding within the landing page before they even opt in, right? Now if you want to get really advanced and you want to call out your prospects, this works unbelievably well, right? We had a campaign that was geared towards females aged 23 to 25 in Adelaide, right? And that traffic got pushed to this page, which called them out directly, right? Female, age group, location, outcome, right? So by calling out your prospects directly, you are going to get a high increase in your conversion rate. So as opposed to just having, let's have a look at this one here, right? How to sell 350 products in 30 days. While that is a great headline, it's not calling out anyone, right? It's not saying, hey, are you this old? Are you in this industry? Do you have this type of product, and do you want to achieve this type of outcome? Okay, so by calling out your prospects directly, man, your conversion rates are going to increase enormously. Next, countdown timer. I don't see this implemented a lot on a few landing pages. It depends on the offer of your landing page. Now for this offer here, we were obviously promoting a live training, so it was quite easy to implement a countdown timer. If you are doing a webinar, you can introduce that as well. If you're doing consultations or a training event or an event or anything that has a closing date, include a countdown timer as well. I've even seen countdown timers being used for PDF downloads too. It seems to work. People feel pressured. People feel like there's more reason to opt in now as opposed to not opting in at a future date, right? So include a countdown timer, and I think you'll increase your conversion rate as well. Next, you want to ensure your landing page is short. Going back to having a call to action above the fold, this landing page here was about 3 scrolls long. 3 scrolls before they saw the call to action. See this little here? This is the call to action here. So the prospect had to work 3 times as hard to give them their name and email, right? You want to keep your landing page short. You want to limit the scrolling, and of course that will allow you to have your call to action above the fold. So there's 15 points in here. You want to ensure that you try to implement all of them if you can, and you're going to have a fantastic landing page. Right now, let's walk you through how to actually go about creating yours and how to craft the copywriting that really drives a prospect to take action on your lead machine.